Forget gurus. Forget anyone claiming to be an online business expert without going through the challenges of entrepreneurship themselves. The Real Money, Real Business podcast is here to prove the best insights in online business comes from your fellow online business builders. We dig into stories of entrepreneurs selling their business on the Empire Flippers marketplace so that you can learn how they made their business profitable, how they overcame obstacles, and what lessons they learned in their online journey. If you want to take your business and your knowledge to the next level, you've come to the right podcast. Let's get started.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Real Money, Real Business podcast. I'm Lauren, and today we have Christopher on the show who's selling a dropshipping business on the Empire Flippers marketplace. Hey Christopher, welcome to the show. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for taking the time to come on the show. Really looking forward to hearing more from you about your business. But before we dive in, I'm going to give the listeners a brief summary of it. As I mentioned, this is a dropshipping and e-commerce business. It was created in May 2018, and it's in the home niche. The average revenue for the business is $79,417 per month, and it makes an average of $11,693 per month in net profit. The assets included with the business are a primary domain, including all site content and files, a secondary domain, employee contracts, supplier contracts and relationships, a Shopify account, a Facebook account, and an email list with 4,369 total subscribers. For everyone listening, you can visit empireflippers.com/marketplace and search for listing number 62461 to learn more about this business. Or you can unlock this listing to start your due diligence if you're interested in purchasing this asset. So now that we know more about the business, let's hear from the seller. Christopher, can you fill us in on your background in starting and running online businesses?
Yeah, sure. I have my business degree, a Bachelor of Commerce, four-year degree, which I earned back in 1993 in Ontario, Canada, from Queen's University, and specialized in marketing in my business degree. And then soon after, started a couple of jobs over the next 8 years, working in industry, working for a not-for-profit company, as well as a consumer packaged goods company, and then in a banking role for CIBC downtown in Toronto. So I had about 8 years of sort of packaged goods marketing experience, as well as marketing a not-for-profit, the Heart and Stroke Foundation, as well as working at a shampoo company, which was a leading shampoo company, doing marketing. So I've got a lot of marketing background, a lot of experience spending advertising money for companies. Then after I left my last corporate job, I started as an advertising sort of consultant or agency in the online space. And that was back in early 2000, and sort of did a series of software businesses as well as consulting for online clients, buying and selling ads, brokering email, and doing a bunch of basic just online advertising, and sort of went from there.
Yeah, wonderful. I'm sure your marketing background has helped you with this business as well. So was it your work with software that led you to dropshipping business?
Yeah, I initially moved from sort of selling advertising to starting various software businesses. I ran a software business with Word that was based on WordPress, and basically I did a bit of coding for a while. And then I started to hire others to code for me. So selling software for intranets, which was about 3 years, a company called Simple Intranet, which I sold, which was a successful business. It was just something that I built up and then wanted to try something new after a couple of years, but had a software business, created a Shopify plugin, and then moved into the sort of the e-commerce business, and including drop shipping and now manufacturing my own products.
Yeah, it sounds like you've had quite a rich history. What attracted you to a dropshipping business as opposed to something like an Amazon FBA business, for example?
Well, I did try, and I had run an Amazon business for some years. I do have yet another apparel side business that I ran for a few years, and I still do run it actually more sort of as a passion business, but yeah, I found a lot of restrictions with working on the Amazon platform. The fees were high. you had a lot of rules to abide by. With Amazon, you could get delisted, if you didn't go by their rules. And I found there's a lot of freedom with Shopify and owning my own domain and owning my own traffic, not being tied to using Amazon's marketing tools. So yeah, and search engine marketing, and I had a lot of experience in SEO, and then still enjoy doing that on the technical side and doing search engine optimization for our product listing. So yeah, I just found Amazon was a bit limiting and really enjoy having a sort of an independent site with Shopify and growing it.
Yeah, that's certainly true. You have a lot more control over the business with something like Shopify. So when you were trying to decide what products to sell through your dropshipping business, what made you settle on these particular products?
Well, I built a couple of houses. I work with contractors and I'm kind of just on our property here in British Columbia, and enjoyed the process of not only building the houses, but also outbuilding sheds and garages and things like that. And looked at the market in terms of, what was available to buy as a buyer, but then had some experience again in construction and all the issues with building permits and constructing carports and all the sort of the issues with snow loads and wind loads and basically all the customer concerns that I hear about today. Yeah, and so it was kind of a logical progression. I wanted something big ticket in terms of, I didn't want to sell $30 items. I wanted to sell $300, $400, $500 items minimum. Right now, my average sale price is around $5,000. Even a year or two ago, it was $3,000. So it's definitely, to me, where the profit is. And it's, fewer customers that are high value is less work and less customer service. So it just seems like it's been more efficient in terms of a business model to go high ticket.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's a strategy that certainly seems to have paid off. With the journey you've been on with this business and the success that you've experienced, what are the reasons you've decided to sell the business now?
Got it running on its own now. I've got 2 employees. I've expanded the product line with 5 suppliers, including a custom line. And it's sort of every 4 or 5 years, I kind of just get the itch and want to try something new. And there's definitely opportunities for going beyond just the Google ads and the Facebook ads that I've been doing. Somebody with a, more of a social media sort of interest would be able to definitely add new channels like TikTok and Pinterest and others in the home niche. So yeah, I think I've kind of taken it as far as I want to and I can go. I'd happily, hold on to it if I didn't find the right buyer. So there's no urgency for me. I would, continue to grow the business if need be. But at this point, I've got a nice history of revenue growth and everything's sort of been optimized well and it's packaged well to sell. I mean, the 2 employees, as well as all my systems. And now I just kind of focus on running some Shopify ads or online shopping ads with Google and a few Facebook posts and boosts. But certainly somebody who knows advertising online could take it to the next level and go from there.
Yeah, it sounds like you've certainly built up a good foundation with this business and now you're ready to move on to some more exciting things. I look forward to see where you're going next. Looking back over your journey with this business, what would you say was your biggest win since starting the business?
I think I was able to, keep adding new products and finding what works in each season. So it's sort of, I think, learning the seasons and optimizing the product mix based on season has been a big win for me over the years, knowing what's selling and when. And then managing the supply side and adding new products as I go.
Yeah, I think that's a great strategy. As you say, it helps counteract that seasonality and also prevents you from spreading yourself too thin by focusing on all the products all the time. On the flip side of the coin, I'm sure not everything went according to plan with this business. What would you say was your biggest setback or challenge?
Yeah, a lot of businesses like ours had supply shortages and shipping costs rising. And so that was definitely a challenge initially when, the lead times for delivery for customers increased. Sometimes inventory would just sell out sooner than expected. So we would not always get the inventory reports, the same day that the item went out of stock and there would be back orders. So managing back orders, definitely, we worked out sort of systems for that and, tried to cross sell people if one item was out we try and move them to another item at a slight discount, but still maintain the profitability. I've added shipping surcharges based on weight and distance in Shopify now, which was a learning experience. Initially, we didn't have that. So now, to cover the increased cost of shipping, we do try and blend some shipping costs into the product, but we also add a shipping surcharge so that it's not going to scare customers off, but they do realize that, when you're shipping heavy items over 1,000 pounds, there's going to be a cost to that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, especially given the size of your products, I'm sure the shipping crisis affected you quite a bit. You mentioned that you have a background in marketing. In terms of driving traffic to your business, can you walk us through your SEO and advertising strategy?
Yeah, I mean, I actually enjoy sort of optimizing pages, listings for search engines, and I've done a lot of it. I used to run other businesses, which, for Google AdSense to generate sort of passive income, which included optimizing content and, alt tags and images and keyword density and all of that stuff. So I've learned a lot over the years about search engines and how they find our business. And you'll see that our business is definitely, found, and its search engine, its organic listings are high. And I've spent a lot of time on that over the past 4 years. So organic traffic is a big part of the traffic. Still, Google Shopping is the mainstay, as well as targeted Facebook boosts for certain niches. So yeah, lots of tagging, lots of alt tags used, lots of images with, detailed descriptions on each. I'm religious about doing that whenever we add new products as well.
Yeah, that's wonderful. It sounds like you've built up a solid foundation there that the buyer can expand on. What do you see as the major opportunities for growth with this business?
Well, definitely more advertising on Instagram, TikTok, and Pinterest. We haven't really gone there. We've just been focused on, again, the Google search and shopping, as well as Facebook. TikTok alone, people can have huge upsides if they know what they're doing, and that's just not where I've focused a lot of energy, or my employees don't have sort of the expertise potentially. So that's a huge growth area, is just finding new online social media channels and kind of growing from there.
Yeah, absolutely. Social media is growing quite rapidly, so there's definitely an opportunity there. Turning now to your supply chain, how many suppliers do you have and where are they based?
So we have 5 major suppliers. They're anywhere from Ontario to BC. Mostly we've got distribution centers, warehouses in Montreal, Calgary, as well as Brampton and Mississauga, and also Kelowna and Vancouver. So it depends on the item, but we do a lot of shelters out of Ontario.
I'm sure this next question also depends on the product, but how long does it usually take to fulfill orders?
It's pretty quick, really. So everything's in a series of boxes, and it's usually literally under a minute for me to send the order off to the appropriate supplier and have it in a queue for shipping. It can be quite quick. The custom-made manufactured items that we sell do require a bit more sort of back and forth with the customer to choose colors, number of trusses, and things like that. So that one's a bit more labor intensive in terms of booking the order, but it's still not more than probably a half hour to an hour total of communications with the customer to figure out what they want and then book it with our manufacturer.
Yeah, it sounds like a pretty well streamlined process. Once the order is booked, how long does it usually take to get from the supplier to the customer?
Typically most suppliers can ship out within a week, and then there's shipping time depending on where they are. During busy season, it can extend to 2 or 3 weeks, and we do manage expectations on our website for that. If it's a custom-made item, they are generally around 2 to 3 months production because it involves welding, powder coating, and generally, ordering the materials, steel and others can have some lead times these days as well. So it varies, but 80 to 90% of the products are kits ready to go and shipped out within a week or 2.
Fantastic. So, Christopher, what does a typical work week look like for you when running this business?
Well, I've got my 2 employees that really run all daily operations and answer the phones, the chats, and the emails. So that gives me really a chance to focus on running ads and optimizing my ads, optimizing any sort of listings or products, constantly on the lookout for new products in the home and garden niche. And we have electric tools that we've added in the last few years that there's a huge growth area in electric garden tools. So we have a great supplier of those, one of the market leaders in that. So those are kind of new business opportunities. And yeah, it's definitely, I enjoy looking at new products and sort of trying to see what the trending niches are for new sales, and things like electric power tools are definitely in that camp.
Yeah, absolutely. It sounds like having employees has allowed you to just focus on growth and the areas of the business that interest you, which is wonderful. Now, I know you have touched on this, but can you run us through the team you have in place and just elaborate on what everyone does?
It's mostly the two women that work for me. They run the customer service. So there's answering the phones. We have a 1-800 number, and we have online chat as well as email. They're also responsible for managing chatbots, for example, which we've saved a lot of time, probably replaced a third employee with the chatbots that we use that use AI. So they'll tweak the chatbots, they'll run sort of little programs with the chatbots to promote different products based on the season. They also help to write blog articles, which help the search engines. And we've spent a lot of time on buyer's guides for each of our niches, and we find that really adds value. Yeah, so they have an array of skill sets, but they do the ordering. I don't have to do the ordering anymore. I used to, but I don't anymore. They do the product updates, they watch the inventory, and they can deal with warranty issues as well as tracking shipments and basic customer service. So yeah, it's kind of like a self-running machine now.
Yeah, I mean, it certainly sounds like it. And with that in mind, what do you think the biggest challenge will be for a buyer taking over this business?
I think it's an ongoing challenge is, again, just sort of managing supply shortages and trying to manage shipping expectations. The cost of shipping, is always a pain point, especially for big ticket items. And again, we've kind of realized that people don't want to spend more than 10% of their money on shipping. So we vary some of the cost of the shipping. We spread it in the product cost, but we also add surcharges. We felt that's sort of a good compromise on how to charge them for shipping, but not scare them off and reduce sales. So definitely the fuel costs are going up, shipping costs are going up, and we have heavy items. So that's definitely, a challenge to sort of manage customer expectations in terms of how much they're going to have to pay for shipping and try and make it as painless as possible.
Yeah, absolutely. With that in mind, how much support are you willing to offer buyers to help ease this transition for them?
Well, I'm absolutely, here for 30 days to help do the transition. And I think a lot of the support will come from my employees moving forward after the 30 days. So I can share all the optimizations I've done, the accounts with Google Shopping and so on, which is already set up. So there's really not a whole lot of a learning curve for a new buyer. It's more, where do they want to focus on future products, and where do they want to take the existing sort of niches or add new niches. So yeah, I'm setting it up. I've, again, been doing this for a while. I know how to set up businesses for easy sales for other buyers. I've done it many times.
Yeah, I think that'll definitely be a big help for them. When it comes time to negotiate the actual sale, are you open to negotiating something like an earnout?
I think I'd only consider an earnout if the offer price was over asking. I'm looking for the price as quoted and like to have it in a lump sum. So I'm pretty firm on that. And again, I'm in no hurry to sell. I'm not desperate to sell. So I'm not looking for financing options on the buy side. I'm looking to just get what I think the business is worth.
Yeah, absolutely. That's fair. And would you commit to a non-compete agreement?
Yes, absolutely. I don't have any issues with that.
Fantastic. Well, Christopher, that leads us into the final question of the interview, and the one that I think buyers have been waiting for, which is, if you had to put yourself into the shoes of a buyer, why do you think your business is a business worth buying?
Well, I think there's a lot of upside for various sides of the business, especially, when you talk big ticket items, our average is around $5,000 per item. But now I'm getting more interest from larger companies looking to store commercial equipment under them. So the commercial business is a huge growth area. I mentioned commercial electric garden tool business. We have one of the top brands in the business as a dealer. Well, actually, it's the top brand in the business for world market share. Got 2 employees that manage daily operations. So, they're very low maintenance. And yeah, so I think the opportunities are endless in terms of adding marketing channels, but also growing the business. So yeah, lots of upsides to, somebody that wants to just take this ball and run with it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well said. It certainly sounds like there's a lot of potential here that buyers can tap into. Is there anything else that you'd like to share with our listeners that I might have missed?
I think that covers it. I mean, I think, again, I'm not a desperate buyer. I want to get the right buyer and somebody that's going to take this business and make it continue. I'm looking for, reasonable offers. And again, I'm happy to help transition, over the next 30 days and make sure that everything works out well and the transition goes smoothly.
Wonderful. Yeah, absolutely. I think buyers will find that very reassuring. Well, thanks so much, Christopher, for coming onto the show and letting us know more about your business. It's been an absolute pleasure having you on, and I appreciate you taking the time out of your day.
Thanks a lot, Lauren. It's been great.
Fantastic. All right, everyone. Thanks for listening. To learn more and see if this listing has already been sold, head over to empireflippers.com/marketplace and search for listing number 62461. If you're watching this on YouTube, click the link in the description to go straight to the listing. Once you've unlocked this listing, you'll be given everything you need to know about this business. So until next time, enjoy your digital journey.